Hello and welcome to this online event. I'm Catherine and I'm part of the team at the M&S Company Archive in Leeds. It's 10 years since we opened the archive in March 2012, and to celebrate, the archive team is sharing our favourite additions to the archive collection and the most enjoyable projects over the last 10 years. If you're watching the premiere of this talk, I'm here to answer any questions using the chat box. Otherwise, please email us at companyarchive@marksandSpencer.com with any questions. We've had quite a few VIPs at the archive over the past decade, including Twiggy, models and collection designers Alexa Chung and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, Yorkshire's Jane MacDonald, and of course, Percy Pig. We tried to make sure that all our visitors feel like VIPs, and that was certainly the case when we welcomed some M&S Sparks customers for a special lingerie-themed event back in 2014.
Welcome to the Marks and Spencer Company Archive and to our very special lingerie event for our very special Sparks guests.
It's been a really fun day today to go around and see all of the history of M&S. That's been really good.
The lingerie exhibition was really a trip down memory lane. A lot of my life laid out in that exhibition, and it's been a delight. I've really enjoyed it.
And the archive itself looked brilliant, and upstairs in the storage, really interesting to go up there because not many of the public have a chance to get there, so we felt that was a nice treat.
Particular highlight was the team doing the presentations because I didn't realise all of the innovation and research that goes into the products.
And we've been on a walking tour in Leeds, which was really interesting and really informative.
The history part of Marks and Spencer's, that was quite enlightening. Yes, enjoyed that. The buildings and the market store.
People have come from all over, and it's just been a real treat.
Every bit's been informative and thoroughly enjoyable.
I think there's something for all ages. I've come here today with my mum and she was saying it would be amazing if we brought my grandma back, so we'll definitely be coming back.
As well as our archival collection of original vintage clothing, which is carefully preserved in special packaging in our temperature and humidity controlled strong room, we have a small collection of replica and duplicate garments which we can get a bit more creative with. Back in 2016, we had the idea of bringing the M&S fashion story to life for visitors in a live catwalk show, which proved so popular that it was later staged again.
The M&S Archive opened here in Leeds 4 years ago now. Here in this building, the Michael Marks building, we hold the collection of over 70,000 items from the archive collection. So those items range from merchandise to documents telling the history of M&S from 1884 to the present day. Today we're holding our first vintage fashion show, M&S Dressed in Time. We'll be highlighting key looks from each of the eras from the 1930s until the present day. We're going to also be highlighting the current collection, Archived by Alexa, which is an archive-inspired range in stores at the moment. The reason we put on the fashion show is because fashion forms a huge part of the archive collection and of M&S history as well. We really wanted to highlight that history. So we've got models, we've got music from the time, we've got hair and makeup to really bring that history to life. atmosphere here today is just fantastic. Everyone's really excited about the fashion show, really looking forward to seeing the outfits. I think there's a real kind of sense that you're getting a sneak peek into the archive collection as well, so people are really enjoying the show.
Our handling collection of replica and duplicate vintage M&S clothing also came in very handy when we took the Dressed in Time story to the stage. We worked with University of Leeds student scriptwriters, a local theatre director and local drama groups to bring the M&S story to the stage in theatres in Bradford and in Leeds. We're going to see a glimpse of the production at the West Yorkshire Playhouse in 2017. "2018 saw a special exhibition at the archive to help mark the centenary of the RAF and to explore M&S's historic connections to the RAF. M&S chairman Simon Marks helped to set up the RAF Air Cadets in 1938. The exhibition also showcased inspiring contributions made by M&S colleagues in the armed forces and on the home front in World War II. The exhibition was launched by the CEO of M&S and the RAF's Assistant Chief of the Air Staff. This short film gives a taste of the exhibition.
Well, I'm here at the Leeds Archive today as we launch our new exhibition, which celebrates a partnership that goes back over 80 years with the RAF. And we've coincided that to launch an appeal, the RAF 100, which celebrates their centenary.
We felt this was a fantastic opportunity to look at part of M&S heritage that's a really proud part of our history, but that we don't know very well. We didn't know really the details. We've got some letters from the Second World War period showing just how instrumental M&S's Simon Marks was.
The partnership started when Simon Marks was co-founder of the Air Force Cadets in 1938, and it's a relationship that's continued ever since, right down to the fact that in 1941 M&S colleagues raised £5,000 for a Spitfire which flew over Dunkirk.
These items have never been on display before, so it's a really fantastic opportunity for people to come along and see this aspect of M&S heritage and our links with the RAF.
As part of the fundraising, we couldn't resist the product, and we've modelled a new leather jacket in menswear which is based on a flying jacket from the Second World War, and it's called the Marksman to celebrate that Spitfire and the pilots that flew in it. All the proceeds from the jacket are going to be going to charity.
The exhibition is open from 10 AM to 5 PM Monday through to Friday, and the exhibition is available right until the end of August, and it's all free.
Our education officer, Caroline, set up our schools programme from scratch in 2012, and it's developed into a vibrant, award-winning programme with something for everyone. In spring 2019, we handed over the entire Marks in Time exhibition to 8 groups of young people for our Kids Takeover project. Each group recurated one of the decade-themed display cases, choosing which objects to show, writing labels and decorating the cases. As well as showcasing some objects that had never been exhibited before, our young curators gave a fresh new voice to the M&S story. We turned all the children's hard work into exhibition displays, installing 135 items and 270 labels over 2 days. The Kids Takeover exhibition ran for 4 months and was very well received by visitors who enjoyed seeing some unusual objects and creative interpretation. Here's a short film about the project.
I'm Caroline and I work here at the M&S Company Archive in Leeds, and this is the Kids Takeover. We're so excited. For the first time in our history, we've opened our doors to young people. We've let them recreate our displays and tell the M&S story in their own words. I was lucky enough last month to go into Holy Name School to see the children in their classroom working on the project and to find out more about how they were enjoying the whole process. There you are. Come on, follow me.
Okay, this morning we are going to be looking at the different artefacts from the 50s and 60s. What story could this artefact tell?
They've all said that they wanted to play something together.
Brilliant, love it.
Do you think you'd have liked to have lived in the 1950s?
I'd quite like to have gone through all those bigger changes. It would be nice, I think. Now we have zips and then there's buttons on everything.
Yeah, there's no Velcro, is there? No.
Why do you think it's an everyday dress? What tells us that?
The children have used so many skills throughout this project, including analytical skills, historical inquiry, loads of creative work and design, and they've really been able to look at what they've made and evaluate it.
Is that yours? That's super cool.
Being able to communicate with M&S digitally through Padlet has allowed us to upload our ideas as well as sources being sent to us, so it's bringing the archive to the school.
3, 2, 1.
When I saw it, I felt really proud that that was our work, that we'd made that.
The children have been involved in the project from beginning to end. So from selecting the items, writing the labels, the creative work, the research, they've told the story of M&S in their own words and presented it beautifully for us.
I was really happy to learn about the history of Marks and Spencer's.
It's been really refreshing to have a different voice coming through in the exhibition interpretation. It adds a different dimension and brings it to life.
I'll probably remember how excited I was and how many people I told.
I think it's turned out better than I could have imagined it would have done.
It's been a great success. We've had such a creative response from the children and they've reinterpreted the collection in a way that we could never have imagined. We're thrilled to bits.
2020 and everything that it brought accelerated our plans to create a suite of digital toolkits for teachers, providing everything that they'd need to run workshops in their classroom. We chose to base the resources on our most popular workshops. These are the sessions where the strengths of the collection really align with specific areas of the curriculum, and we can provide a unique insight or experience from our position as a global retailer. We've now launched 4 primary and 2 secondary toolkits supporting a range of subjects, including GCSE Design and Tech and Business Studies, all free and accessible through our website. Each resource contains teachers' notes with a lesson plan, classroom slides, archive sources, editable and printable worksheets, films and image packs. As well as the provision for schools, we created at-home versions of 3 of the resources. We've been working with home education groups for nearly 5 years now and wanted to provide resources that would suit learners that weren't in a school setting. And obviously there were a lot more people learning at home who would be looking for straightforward learning activities. Here's one of the films from the resources about investigating food packaging.
We see and use food packaging every day. It's everywhere. Have you ever wondered why there are so many different shapes, colours and designs? Let's have a closer look and see what we can find out about this packaging. Hi George.
Hi.
Thanks for coming along.
Welcome.
Why don't you pick one of these pieces of packaging for us to look at?
Choose that one.
How can we tell what this packaging is for? How do we know what should be inside?
Because it says extremely chocolatey sponge cake.
Now who do you think this cake is for? What sort of
A child. Because it's more of a cartoonish style and Colin has Smarties on him. Just like the picture of the cake.
Right, lovely, well done. Let's pop Colin over there for a minute. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is this older bit of packaging, which is a biscuit tin from the archive collection. So we're going to pop our gloves on because we're touching something a bit older, so we need to keep it safe. What colours and shapes can you see on that tin?
Red, white and goldy brown and squares and ribbon.
If you just very gently run your hand over it, what can you feel?
Bumps on the letters and smoothness around the letters.
That's it. Now if you had to choose, which one would you
That
choose?
one.
Why do you like that one best?
Because it used to have cake in it.
That's great, George. Perfect, thank you. It's important that packaging is eye-catching and appealing as it helps us to decide what to buy. That's the power of design. A designer can give you all of those messages just using shape and colour. There's a lot more information on this packaging, so keep investigating and see what else you can find out.
The archive is full of treasures that can spark memories and inspire conversations. Over the last 10 years, we've worked with older people, people with dementia and their carers, and provided reminiscence resources for care homes, day centres and memory cafes. A project in 2017 allowed us to spend more time with one group of people, bringing together residents from a local care home and students from Leeds City College for an intergenerational project, with the aim of bringing people together in mutually beneficial activities to promote greater understanding and respect between the generations. Here's a short film all about the project.
So Sparking Memories is an intergenerational project. So we brought together A-level students together with residents from a local care home. The group are also then going to create an artwork inspired by the M&S archive, which will go on display at the care home.
The final aim of this project is to create a bunting that spells out Simon Mark's quote.
So we're going to use their initials and write it out in a font that we chose, and then they're going to decorate it. So I think it's going to be nice in the end because all of their initials are going to be on there, and every time they see it they can say, oh, that's my name, I helped in that.
I definitely think that archives helped. I've mostly been looking at clothes, sort of texts, fonts, books.
We know that reminiscence can be really helpful when working with older people, but I think the intergenerational aspect of this project adds another dimension to it, and I think sharing memories and stories with people from another generation is really, really beneficial.
At first, when we started, I did feel quite worried that I wouldn't get along with them and how they would react towards me. And I think towards the end, you do kind of build a relationship with them.
Obviously there's a lot of trust there, a lot of respect. The residents have been benefited from the project because they reminisced about the past, the certain materials they used to use. Obviously before machines came out, they used to do everything about handcraft, so we've learned off them. They've also learned the new ideas from our generation too.
Given that I want to do psychology at uni, I just want to know more about dementia and mental illnesses in general.
I think this project's been a unique opportunity for me to meet people that suffer from dementia. We don't always get to walk around the streets and walk up to someone and say, can I speak to you? You look like you've got dementia. So it's nice that we've had this opportunity to access the care home and actually spend time with them.
It helps me work with people who I will be working with in the future.
dementia, so patients with different sort of mental illnesses such as dementia.
I thought it'd be quite hard, but it's actually been a really wonderful experience.
Even with dementia and Alzheimer's, people are still human beings, and it's to help them realise that they're not just a sufferer of dementia or Alzheimer's.
Another project, this time from 2019, gave us the chance to use the collection of sheet music held in the archive. Music can be beneficial for older people and those with dementia, so we worked with the Leeds International Piano Competition to run a project where the group from a local day centre were able to listen to the music, then make their own creative responses.
Sheet music was a bestseller at Marks & Spencer in the early 20th century, and we have a huge collection of it here at the archive now. We're working with Leeds International Piano Competition to help a group of people with dementia to explore this collection of sheet music. Over 8 weeks, the group will listen to recordings of the piano music, and then with the help of writer Sarah Perry, they'll curate a recital, and they'll put together some programme notes to help others to interpret the music as well.
Every session we look at some objects from the archive and we listen to some sheet music, and then we do a creative activity, and that activity can be anything. You know, we've done painting, we've done letter writing, we've written a story together as a group, but ultimately what we're aiming to do is explore a theme. So each week's had a theme, sometimes romance, dancing, celebration, food, family, all of these different things. The idea is that the participants have space to tell us about themselves, to remember things, to tell us their take on that theme, what it means to them, or to use their imagination.
What's been fantastic when we've listened to the music in the sessions is to see the different responses from people, and we know from the way that people are interacting how much they're enjoying the opportunity to explore something new and hear some new music.
Nice, jolly, bright music, loud music. It lifts you. It lifts you. The mood is absolutely amazing. We sing along, gets everybody's feet tapping, and it carries on when we get back to our centre.
As well as the weekly sessions, we're putting together a set of specially curated performances that will go into care homes around Leeds.
So all the work that the group have done will get put together in programme notes. These will be added to an online resource which can be used by any community group or care home to run similar sessions themselves.
It's making our job easier. It works. It gets everybody chatting, everybody.
We really believe in the power of music, and we think that music should be inspiring and interesting for all audiences that come across it, and it's a chance for people to carry on learning new things, carry on meeting new people, carry on having a really creative outcome and activity within their lives. As well as that, there'll be an exhibition that's open to the public right here at M&S. There'll be a piano that you can come and play on. You can check out the sheet music yourself, and you can listen to some of the recordings too.
The project will culminate in a temporary exhibition here at the M&S archive, so all the participants will have the chance to see their work on display, which is always a really great thing to do.
The other great thing you'll be able to see during that exhibition is the creative responses from this group that have worked with us on a weekly basis, so you can read the poems they've put together, the stories they've written together, and definitely some great artwork as well.
In January this year, we were very excited to announce that Marks & Spencer Group plc has loaned 5 major artworks to the Stanley and Audrey Burton Gallery at the University of Leeds, allowing the people of Leeds and visitors to the city to see these beautiful and important pieces. The 5 artworks now on public display, some for the very first time, are by world-famous artists Claude Monet, L.S. Lowry, J.M.W. Turner, Maurice de Vlaminck and Edward Siego. Visitors can combine seeing the paintings and visiting the archive as part of a visit to the university campus. The centre painting is Market Stalls by L.S. Lowry, painted in 1961. Lowry is famous for his industrial scenes in the north of England and his distinctive and stylistic approach to human figures. This painting was specially commissioned to celebrate the opening of the Market Street M&S store in Manchester in 1961 and was presented to M&S chairman Simon Marks by the property development firm that we worked with to build the new store. The market scene feels particularly fitting for its new Leeds home, as there are clear links to our beginnings in Leeds Kirkgate Market. This is the first time that this artwork has been available for the public to see since an exhibition at the Royal Academy in 1976. This piece, painted by J.M.W. Turner in 1792, is titled The Pantheon, the Morning After the Fire. It's remarkable for a number of reasons. Not only has it never been on public display before, but Turner was only 16 when he sketched it, following a fire at the Pantheon Assembly Rooms, a theatre in London. This destructive event, which was suspected arson, clearly made a great impression. The young artist depicted the ruined building faithfully from different angles and exhibited one of these sketches at the Royal Academy. This piece has a wonderful link to M&S, as the site of the Pantheon Assembly Rooms began a new lease of life when we opened an impressive new store designed in the Art Deco style on the site in 1938, still known today as the Pantheon Store. Over the course of the 10 years, a lot of people have visited to explore the Marks in Time exhibition and find out more about M&S heritage. But of course, this includes a period of more than a year without any visitors. Venues like ours were required to close from March 2020 to May 2021 due to the COVID pandemic, and we're only just starting to see the return of group visits and on-site school workshops. It's fantastic to be able to welcome more people to the archive again, and to see people learning from and enjoying our exhibition and the archive collection. It's an archive collection that's constantly growing and evolving as we add new material transferred to us from teams across M&S to capture what the business is doing right now so that it's available for research purposes in the future, as well as receiving new donations to the collection from members of the public. We've picked out some of our favourite new additions to the collection over the last 10 years. This is a utility clothing dress from 1947. It was donated by Mrs. Joyce Edwards, who worked for M&S as a window dresser. She saved up her ration coupons to purchase the dress from our Dudley store in 1947, and it was the dress she wore when her future husband asked her out on a date for the first time. She kept the dress and wore it many times before donating it to the archive in 2012 when she was in her 80s. She even shared this photo of her wearing the dress when she was 18, soon after she had first bought it. These are some of the papers of Leonard Davies. Leonard started as a warehouseman in our Cardiff store in 1939 and later became an auditor for the area, working from the Bath Divisional Office until his retirement in 1979. Leonard's son donated his papers, as well as a well-used leather briefcase embossed with Leonard's name that he'd used on his travels around Wales and the southwest. The papers give us useful information into his working life and the operational activity of the stores in his area. The original owner of this 1950s purple and white housecoat was Hetty, born in a remote valley in the North Staffordshire moorlands in 1903. In the early 1920s, Hetty trained as a nurse in Nottingham. Here's a photograph of Hetty in her uniform. The housecoat was purchased by Hetty when she moved out of the nurse's home and into her own house. Hetty retired in the early 1960s, got married and moved to Cheshire. The navy child's dress was purchased in 1966 by the donor's sister-in-law for her daughter, who wore it for 2 years, and then to another sister-in-law's daughter. It was then passed back to the original customer for another daughter. The dress had a break for 10 years with no girls born into the family before the donor's daughter then wore it in 1981 to 1983. The pink child's coat was donated in March 2014. The items were originally worn by the donor's daughter in the late 1960s. At the time that the coat was donated in 2014, it had recently been worn by her granddaughter, aged 12 at the time. The papers of Sybil Barnes are an interesting addition to the collection, donated in 2015. Sybil was head of staff catering services, responsible for managing affordable yet good quality and nutritious food for staff in stores and offices. She was also responsible for developing the project to introduce pre-packaged sandwiches at M&S from 1980. Sandwiches were trialled in 15 stores and by 1987 were sold in all M&S stores. Her papers give us a fascinating insight into her work, including the all-important sandwich recipes. This child's poncho is a recent addition to the collection. It was obviously a well-loved garment. The original owner sent us photographs of her wearing it from age 3 in 1969 up to age 9 in 1975. The owner told us that by 1975 it was too small, but she says, "I'd had a new bike for my birthday and it was the only warm overlayer I could find that wasn't going to get stuck in the pedals." Right now, the archive team is working on plans for developing the Marks in Time exhibition so that it showcases more of the archive collection and tells more of the stories that visitors enjoy. We can't share the full plans here, but visitors can expect more opportunities to get hands-on with our heritage, as well as discovering aspects of the M&S story, such as M&S food, that aren't really captured in the exhibition at the moment. Our website will also be undergoing a significant redevelopment too. We'll be developing the plans over the coming months, with further news coming in the summer. But here's something we can tell you about right now. Our first in-person event since early 2020. Our online events during the pandemic have reached over 7,000 people, and we'll continue to offer online events for people who can't get to us in person. But we're really looking forward to our first in-person event on Saturday the 7th of May. We hope to see you there. Thank you for helping us to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Please get in touch if you have any questions and keep an eye out for more news and online events on our website.